everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Gosh, I can't believe that I've managed to keep it up, and I've got quite a few episodes up now. I really hope you're enjoying them. I really do hope that you are staying engaged, benefiting from them, feeling more empowered, feeling more soulfully connected than you have ever been. And if you are, then I'm doing my job. If you're new, don't forget that there are previous episodes, and if you want to be a part of the journey, you're more than welcome to go back, soak them all in, and catch up with us and be a part of this amazing journey that we're on together. And as I've always said, you're the ones helping me, and I am definitely doing my best to help you. And how am I doing that? Just sharing my work. For those who are new and maybe don't know me, my name's Alicia. I'm an automatic writer and a channel. I do soul channeling, and that's how I get connected to share this type of writing. It's a combination, as I said, it's really hard to define, but they're all inspirational and empowering. And that's what I want to get across to you. I want to share that with you. I want to support you on your journey. And if you're new, stick around, because I'm going to be sharing lots of information that you're going to love. And, I as I said, every episode, I think, what am I going to talk about? What is today's episode going to be about? And I never really quite know. All I know is that I choose a passage from, hang on, let me tell you a little bit about these they're kind of like little mini books. And I've mentioned them before, obviously, and there'll be details in the description to find out what they are, and you're welcome to download them, or I'm making video versions as well, or you can watch them pretty much on this channel at any time. But what I'm doing is I'm taking some of my favorites from this little mini guide, and it's called, because it's a very long title, I have to kind of look to make sure that I say it word for word. Inspirational photo quotes for your soul. And they're lovely. I've put pictures with them, and I've even done audios with the reflections and insights. But what we're going to talk about in this show and in this series is basically, I'm going to be sort of reading one of them out, and then we'll be delving into the understanding, and I'll be sharing nuggets of wisdom and information to support you. And if this particular passage is relevant to you, then I'll be kind of taking my time to just get you to think about things, get you motivated, get you to reflect on things going on in your life, with the sole purpose of empowering you to overcome challenges, to move forward, to have courage, to have belief, to have that self-empowering feeling that you can conquer the world and you can do anything you choose to do. And it's good if you can see the world in that way, because we get so downtrodden, don't we, throughout our lives, this happening, that happening, this going wrong. We're not immune to any of that, and we all have to go through that. So this is my way of sharing some soul empowering things with you, so that you can overcome those challenges as they come along. You don't want to be beaten by all the negative things that are going on in your life. You want to overcome them. You want to beat them. You want to overstep them, as I said in one of my previous episodes. Overstep them and go forward with confidence, with belief, with attitude. And one of the big things we talk about quite often is action. Getting motivated and pushing yourself into action, as that, I believe, is the key to dealing with a lot of negative things that may be coming your way. Okay, so I don't think this passage is going to be about action, but, you know, that word is going to come up quite often because, you know, it's an important one. Let me see which one I'm going to choose. I think it's going to be from book 2, but definitely don't worry. You don't have to follow along. Just soak in what I'm going to say, and you're very welcome, you know, if you afterwards look in the description and, you know, you can download it or whatever. And you might pick out the ones that I've spoken about. And as I said, you might have your own insights and reflections and, you know, your own feelings about them. And that's really what I love to do, encourage you in that way, because I think it's really important in life to be self-reflective, to reflect on things. You know, when you've got a challenge ahead of you, or you're in a situation where you feel like there's no way out, and you're thinking to yourself, you know, can I overcome this? You know, where do you go? Where do you find your inspiration? Where do you take yourself to a place where you can kind of say, you know what, I'm not going to be beaten by this. I'm going to overcome it. Or if you're at a particular place in your life, career-wise or whatever, and you think, I'm not quite sure how to go forward. We've had this episode about answers and finding answers and solutions. You can check that episode out. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's back there somewhere. If you need answers on those kind of things, I will be covering ways to get those answers and to basically push yourself forward and going in a direction that you feel you need to go, and in a way that is going to empower you. I can't stress that more, because if you are in a situation in life where you don't have much empowerment or self-belief, or, you know, you're not motivated, really and truly, I really hope that this series, this one and all the series, can help change that for you. And it'd be super to hear your comments of anything I've shared that you've applied and how it's impacted you. You know, is it been positive? Even if you felt it was negative, let me know, share it. But on the main, this is the direction I want to take you in. So yes, very, very exciting for me, because as I said, I've never kind of put myself out there. For those of you who may not have watched another series I did with my son, it's more light-hearted but very, very powerful as well. Check that out too. It's called Mum and Son. It's on my same chat, not this particular channel, but another channel on my, you know, YouTube. But that's fun, and I'm going to be loading more of those. We have actually done loads, so I'm going to be adding more to that series. But for this series, it's kind of one-on-one between you and me, and kind of this one-on-one time is a time for me to kind of share some deeper stuff, which I hope you are going to enjoy. Now let's see what we'll have for today's passage. Okay, this one is called self-understanding. Now, it's hard enough trying to understand other people, but how am I possibly going to look at myself and think about understanding myself? So let's see what this passage says about that. It's actually quite a deep one, and it says this: through self-understanding, I work diligently to strive for all things I wish to achieve. Now, as I've been sort of sharing with people, you could read that and say, okay, through self-understanding, I work diligently to strive for things all I wish to achieve. Okay, fine, let me move on to the next page. Now, what I've been trying to get you guys to do is to delve deeper into these passages, and that's what I'm going to do with you. And as I've always said, even though I'm going to do that, I want you to do the same at your end, okay? So I'm going to delve into this one in the way I perceive it, but don't forget, I'll also be wanting you to delve into it in the way that you perceive things for yourself, in your life, in your situation, in your circumstances. And although what I'm going to give you is like a broad kind of overview, you can expand on that in your own way. This is what I'm trying to get you to do. And this is how to kind of build a soulful connection in the way that I would love you to learn to read these passages. So the mind will read it and say, okay, yeah, I get that. Okay, let me turn on to the next page. What I want you to do is read it and say, wow, what are the deeper meanings behind this? What is this passage trying to say? You know, and your mind will just see the words and really simplify it. And you think, okay, fine, let me move on. But if you read them, try to do it from a soulful place and see if you can get soulful kind of inklings from within you that might be sort of pushing you and saying, think about this, think about that, how about this, how about that, that, you know, that you can kind of delve deeper. And that's really what I'm doing. You know, when I talk about each passage, you have like, or I have soulful insight, soulful reflection on it, and I'm sharing that with you, but you can have your own. That's the exciting thing about reading these type of inspirational words. And, you know, the reason I value and appreciate them is the way in which they come through to me. And, you know, it's not so much, okay, well, the way that they're written through me are unusual, so to speak. However, I understand that they come from a deep place or a soulful place, and that's what I want you to tap into if you can. If you can't, don't worry. Just do it from a heartfelt place. That makes it easier, hey? And as I've always said, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you believe in or whatever. Just see them for what they are and tap into them in your own way and in your own sort of unique way, because we're all different, aren't we? So yeah, so go. Okay, so through self-understanding, I work diligently to strive for all things I wish to achieve. Now, to me, what I feel this passage is trying to say to us is a lot of the things that you want to achieve, a lot of the things that you want to work towards, okay, they are available to you in many, many different ways and many different forms. But I feel what this passage is trying to say is one of the key things in going for things that you want to achieve, or going for things that you want to strive for, or, you know, going for goals that you want to fulfill. There's a very important element, and that is self-understanding. As I said earlier, some people may say, listen, it is hard enough understanding, you know, people around me, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife, you name it, you know, my colleague, my boss, my co-workers. It's hard enough trying to understand all these people. What are you talking about? Trying to now understand myself. Well, we're complex beings, aren't we? We feel we know ourselves by the way we interact with the world. We feel we know ourselves by the way that we interact with people. But then, do you really know yourself? Have you really, really reflected on the person you are? You know, the type of things deeply you wish to achieve. Like, say, for example, you're a mom, you have children to, you know, juggle, you have to get places, you have to be at school, drop at school, so on and so forth. You're interacting with the rest of your family, you know, with your other children, even your friends, even your siblings. And, you know, there's that side to you. But there's also, I believe, a deeper side within you. And that's what I'm getting about today, you know, tapping into that deeper inner you, I call it. Some people may call it your higher self. With my writings, when this concept came about, the words that came through were the inner you. So I've kind of stuck with that. But I think Maybe people may understand it more if I say your higher self, but if you're happy to go with my wording, then it's the inner you. And you know, why is the inner you so important? Because, as I've said in previous episodes, it is the connection between you and the soul and you and your mind. Okay, the inner you is that very, very important connection between you and your soul and you and the mind. And you, as the inner you, the higher self within you, you are the cornerstone of that partnership, you know. And you may say, why am I the cornerstone of that partnership? Well, the reason you are a cornerstone of that partnership is because in my writings, when I was writing The Soul Whisperer, something very important or very unusual came through to me. And it was that the soul does not communicate directly with your mind. This is like on an energy level, on a soulful level, okay? Take aside what you perceive, what you think. This is something that in my writings I was gifted or shared to share. And that is the soul does not communicate directly with the mind. Now, I didn't know that before, or I hadn't ever contemplated it. Do you know what I mean? Like, how did I know this? It just came through in my writing. So I began to understand that you, the inner you, is the key or the cornerstone to what I call communication between you, the soul, you, the mind. And it's like a kind of like a lovely circular motion, you know. In one of my books, I describe this partnership as being like the circular, let me say that again, the circulatory system of our, you know, within our bodies. You know, for example, you know how the way our blood passes through the body, goes through the heart and the arteries, and it's not that complex, but you know, it's that kind of circulatory system that you know, is important in understanding the partnership between the soul, you, and the mind, you, and the soul. So what I'm trying to say is you are the cornerstone. Your higher self, your inner you, is the cornerstone between communicating with your soul and the mind. Because the soul and the mind, according to my writings and my teachings, do not have direct communication. Now, why is that important? It's really important because if you switch off aligning yourself on a soulful level to your soul, then the partnership is just between you and your mind, which is what 99% of us are doing in our lives. We've only got a partnership between us and our mind. You know, we've kind of excluded the soul because we don't know enough about it, and that's what I will be teaching you more and more and more and more about it, so you can clock and get it of how to get a really good balance going in your life. Now, I've delved a little deeper than I should because this passage is really talking about understanding yourself. And you could say, okay, understanding myself as, you know, Mary, or understanding myself as, you know, Peter, or, you know, understanding myself as how, you know, how I am in this world and how things are going in my life. But there's a deeper aspect to you that you may not have considered tapping into, or you may not have thought about incorporating into your physical life. So that inner you, what I'm trying to say today is get to know it, get to know that inner side of you. And if you do, you can then start to refresh the communication you have with your soul. Because right now, if you're, I mean, we're all the same, and that's how we all started off. I was no different. I've only just learnt this through my writings and my teachings that came through to me as I was writing my book, The Soul Whisperer. Now, I didn't know all this. I was just like you. I had no clue. But through the writings, I started to realize what was being said or being shown or being, given to me to share. And that is that understanding. So getting to know the inner you is so important because it's the cornerstone of communication between you, your soul, your mind. Now, let me take it one step further. If you've got good communication with your soul, okay, now I will get to talk to you as we go on, as you kind of start enjoying the episodes and being part of the series. I will get to talk to you about where the soul's origins, because that has been gifted to me as well. So I will talk to you about the soul's origin and its role, etc. That's a big subject. So I'm not going to get into that today. But, what I'm trying to say is if you can work on the inner you and rebuild a connection to your soul, then that soulful connection builds a stronger connection on the universe level, or depending on your faith, on whatever you believe will help you get more connected to that belief system. Okay, so you, the inner you and your soul, strengthening that connection helps you to make a stronger bond with your beliefs, to make a stronger bond with what you perceive is part of your life or part of your belief system, and if you have a sort of a kind of a view about the universe and stuff like I do, then to me that soulful connection is a strong one to all that's going on in the universe, and that sort of energy connection. That's what I see it as, like an energy connection of everything that is beyond the physical. So, take it as you wish, or take it or sort of use it in your own way, because you have your own belief systems. You don't believe necessarily in what I believe in because you've had a different upbringing and a different, journey and path. So I'm saying don't be constrictive in your thinking. Open yourself up and connect to what your belief system is. For me, I would say that's a soulful connection, to beyond your soul toward the universe. I mean, when I say the universe, I mean that energy of all that exists out there. You may see it as something different. You may call it something different. It doesn't matter, because that suits you. And that's what these writings and teachings are, to suit you. So there we have it. Building that connection, self-understanding, understanding that there's something deeper within you than just the person you are, today, beyond you just being a father, a brother, a sister, a mother, a daughter, a son, a friend, a colleague, a co-worker. Beyond that, deep, deep, deep within you, there's a you in there that is so special and unique, and that is sort of tethered to your soul, and it's tethered to your physical mind. But unless you would start aligning yourself on a soulful level, you're going to miss out on that partnership. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you think of us, actually I've got some amazing diagrams that I'm going to be adding to the Soul Whisperer book, because I thought that's really going to help people. So I'm going to be bringing out a new edition with that in it. So, look out for that. But for now, as we're talking, you can even perceive things as a circle. You know, your mind, you, your soul, and then you have you again, because each time that, you know, you're communicating, it's going through you. Yes. So if you had, say, a circle with the mind at the top, and then you had another circle with you, and then the soul as a third circle, and then put you again, that circulatory system that I was talking about, you know, things passing through you to communicate with the mind and communicate with the soul, that will help you get it. You know, actually, you know what? I've just realized I can add that diagram, because it just came to me as we were talking, you know, trying to describe it for you, trying to allow you to picture it in your mind, you know, that important flow of information. So I'm going to try and include that one in the Soul Whisperer that I'm redesigning with the little diagrams, just to help people. You know, I think visuals are really helpful, and I think if I'd put some more visuals, it would have helped a lot more people get what some of the words that, you know, I'm trying to explain and talk about, like get all that. But yes, so there we are. So what I'd like you to do is feel yourself, getting to know yourself. It means self-understanding, getting to understand that deeper inner side of yourself, because if you can, then we're moving forward. I can then take you on to the next level. And I hope in the next episode I will remember to carry on from here. If I don't, please remind me in the comments. But, you know, if I don't, it will come out in another episode for sure. But yeah, I'll try and remember, because you notice everything I do, I start with one of the channel passages that I've written, because that's what gets me going in the dialogue and gets me kind of delving deeper and explaining things to you. You know, that's just the way I am, and that's just the way I've come to understand this work and how to talk about it through the passages. You know, I could say I could just talk these words, but they have a deeper meaning when I take them from one of the passages. That's how it works for me. But, you know, that's the only, you know, that's the way I can understand and teach it, put it that way. If you consider what I'm saying is teaching, but I think it is teaching, because this is new knowledge. You know, this is new thought, new knowledge. Nobody taught me this. It came through my writings. So I always start with these writings when I talk about stuff. And yeah, it's new thought, I guess. Nobody told me. I didn't read it from anywhere. It's just stuff that has evolved through the writing process that I understood. And I said, oh, wow, this is what this is saying. This is what this means. And so much of it in part 2 or trilogy 2 in the Soul Whisperer contains this information. But I'm going to break it down for you, because it's not kind of something you can read and get straight away. Some people have, actually. Some people have and told me, like, you know, and I've thought, wow, they got it. You know, and I was like blown away, because it's it's channeled. It's not easy kind of reading from A to B sort of stuff. But some people have got it and you know, given me feedback on it. And some people haven't, because, you know, they haven't got around to some of the concepts of what it's saying. So I'm adding diagrams. I'm going to be adding diagrams to help teach and ease you through this information that is, you know, come part of my teachings, because, you know, it has evolved through this process. So I'm going to be sharing those with you. But for now, okay, if you can get this self-understanding, really, really reflect on it, dwell on it, and try and see it from not just who you are in your physical world, but who you are on a soulful level. Now hold that thought. When you write it down, who you feel you are on a soulful level, write it down, okay? And, you know, when we start going further, you'll be able to come back to me about what you've written. And, you know, but the key is write it down. Let me know in the comments who you feel you are on a soulful level. This is the deeper person you feel you really are. Now, it does not matter if you're not going to tap into that. Don't worry about that, because we will come to that, okay? But what matters is you feel you're getting to know that inner you. You're getting to know who that, person beyond this physical, but your inner self or your higher self, or that inner person within you that you never tell anyone about. That is your special little sanctum, yeah? Between you and your soul. It's a little secret, yeah? Between you and your soul. You don't tell people about that. They don't know about that. No way. Your husband, your wife, they don't know about that. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, they don't know about that. Your children, they don't know about that. This is you, just you and your soul on a soulful level, okay? So write that down. Don't forget, we're going to come back and talk about this again. But for now, self-understanding is going to start leading you on a path to achieve all you want to achieve. So we're going to come back to that, okay, in the next episode. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed this episode. As I said, everything will be in the description. Leave your comments. Let me know what you feel about this episode. They're evolving and they're getting stronger and stronger. And, I just hope you're really valuing and appreciating this, because, if not, then I'm delivering it, in a bad way. I hope not. It's just me, I hope you're enjoying it, because if not, then I don't know how I'm delivering it then. I hope I'm delivering it in the best way that I can. This is uncharted territory for me, so I'm just going along with the flow and trying to share things in the best way possible. But, I'm so glad you're here, so glad you're on board. And yeah, let's keep journeying together, making this fun. Now, as I said, if you like what I've said, don't forget to share it. You know how you share things. Do that, share it if you feel somebody needs to hear this information. Stick a thumbs up if you like my content. Put on your bell notifications so that when I bring out a new episode, you can listen to it straight away. Like, share, subscribe, as they always say. I love that kind of little trio of words. They sound so good, don't they? And if you love my work and you wish to support me, check out my Patreon page. Go along there. If you like what I'm doing and you think, yeah, I'll be a patron, then that's fantastic, because guess what? I can share more, do more, help more, give more, and yeah, just become an inspirational part of your day or your world. And that makes me so happy. That means that, yeah, I'm fulfilling my destiny with you as well, which is, I believe, fulfilling my destiny as part of humanity. So I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks for being with me. Look out for the next episode coming out soon. Love and light. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.